Hello again, dear viewers. Firedrake McPhee here. Welcome to another speed paint of my digital graphic novel, Balatro's Expedition. You're in for a special treat today, an interview with a Pixie. But first, let me tell you a little bit about the speed paint that's going to be going on the visual side of things. This one is Chapter 2, Page 7, and I call it Gotcha. In this page, we see the aftermath of Bethiel's rather spectacular display in page 6. She's gotten rid of the field that Ishmael has set up to ensure their privacy, and so attracted the attention of the Pixie that Ishmael had dunked back in the beginning of the chapter, and allowed Isaiah, who had been coming out of the door further down the alley, to notice them. Speaking of pixies, I thought I'd have another friend of mine tell you a bit about the pixies of this world, since they are by far the most unique of the 9 known sentient species. I'm afraid Tim was simply not the best choice, found someone else. Sorry about that, Tim. I'll see if I can't come up with something that more suits your particular talents in a later video. Yes, quite. I'll be here. Always. Right. Anyway, perhaps this other friend will be more suited to our subject this week. Would you mind introducing yourself? Oh, yes, of course, yes. My name is Erasmus. Erasmus Higginbotham von Neumena. I am a priest of Simond and a scholar. Oh, yes, well, I suppose that is quite the redundant statement. You see, well, I suppose most of you listening wouldn't know this, would you? But silly of me. Yes, well, for those who do not know, Simon is the god of knowledge and law, so all of his priests are going to be a scholar of some sort, really. Or maybe a lawyer. Well, yes, well, I suppose it would be more correct to say that Simon is the old god of knowledge and law, really. But since I've not heard of a new god or goddess appearing to take that particular bailiwick, I'll keep calling Simon the god of knowledge and law, and thank you very much. Well, you understand now? Good. Now then, pixies, well, that is a most fascinating subject, yes. Well, in fact, the study of pixies is a particular favorite of mine. Oh, yes, indeed. They are singularly intriguing people, and absolutely charming as a whole. Oh my, yes. But I digress. I've actually been most fortunate to procure the assistance of an actual pixie, to see if I can get a few... Ask her... In this case, she does tend to identify as a her, so I will ask her some questions, and well... And as a added bonus, yes, this particular pixie also happens to be a god. Yes, I believe she's the new one of the new gods, of course. None of the old gods were pixies. Well, I suppose Lawfall would appear as a pixie sometimes, but that was Lawfall. Would appear as lots of things. But yes. Yes. Sorry. Wandered off again there again. No, yes, but anyway, yes, this particular pixie is a god. Goddess, I suppose. Yes, isn't that exciting? Yes. So, I suppose I've talked enough. Would you care to introduce yourself? Yes.
Some foolish mortal demands communion with the mighty Rittophoran. Shan't you fear deadly our familiar, please? They're gonna regret it! Hello, I am here in all my fantastic pixie glory for your benefit and my morbid amusement.
Yes, well...
So I'd like to talk to you first of all about our Lord and Savior Shamleon.
I'm
what
sorry,
a guy. The Enchanting Prince, the slayer of stupids. He's so cool, so awesome, and he's been dead for over 1,000 years. But
dear.
I'm about to find his reincarnation, no matter who he is, and grace him with all my godly... what do you call it? Messing with favor. Favor, that's the one. Yes, we'll call it favor. That's what I'll tell him.
Oh, yes, well, this Shamleon fellow, is this another Pixie, perhaps?
Chameleon is not a pixie, you fool!
Oh, sorry.
He was the most beautiful, dashing person I ever knew. Mighty human, dark of complexion, dark of past. Is basically kind of dark, except he was a white guy. But that's not important. You know, it's not like there's a draconian. You know how those people just walk around with green skin and scales? Like, we can't weigh anything even though we're covered in this crap. But that's okay. It's not like they're postmen or anything. Oh, God, how do they do the mail? How do they write? Do they do it with their tongues? Oh, my God, what else do they do with their tongues? Now I'm thinking about all these draconian guys. Wait, you asked me something else. Chameleon, right, he was so cool. No, 1,000 years ago, right? He was my buddy. He was so awesome. I can't tell you how awesome he was. There was a time, right, where we went, us, and there was a fiery dwarf person, and then a priest who had demon horns, which was awesome. And everybody asked him about it all the time, and he was so annoyed. And it was great. I would transform into different people just to ask him about it again. He'd be like, "Shut up, you damn pixie." And I'd be like, "Never!" and dance away, and then play with his horns later. Oh, God, I had a tuning fork, and I used to bang it on his head just to listen to the rhythm that go through his skull. And the fire dwarf would sit there and laugh like crazy until he splashed water on her one time. Which brings me back to my other story. We were hanging out in the blacksmith area, right? So they bang metal all day. It's like goes crack, 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 and sparks fly everywhere, right? It's wonderful. So then somebody says, "So who are you, kind sir?" And they said it to Chameleon. And he said,
I am Chameleon.
and I was so tickled. So I grew 20 feet tall to repeat it.
I am Chameleon.
And that was when everything was on fire.
Fire?
He's amazing. Just his sheer charisma, his buoyant presence.
Buoyant?
Is that the right word, right? Buoyant? Boisterous. But I bet he would float. He did, actually. There was a time I kicked him into a lake, and then his hair looked even, like, better. Because you know how, like, goth boys, they have the whole thing where their hair it's dark, right? It's all, and then, but if you wet it and make it all greasy, then it sticks to their face and makes them look really sad. Sort of like, what is that band? 3 Days Ace, right? Yeah, they're the card players. Am I right? No, I'm not thinking of the right one. It must be somebody else. But anyway, he was in the water, and there was water all flowing out, and his hair stuck to his face, and he said, "God, I'm in hell." And I said, and it was great. I guess so did he. We talked like that for days. He thought he was a mermaid for a little while. And that was mostly the illusions, though. Well, he was so cool. I wish he'd been another pixie like me so that we could have made beautiful pixie babies. But no, instead, I had to wait 1,000 years for him to reincarnate so I could torment him with love. Anyway, what did you want to ask?
Oh, yes, well, I did want to ask, just as this seems quite, relevant, yes, relevant to the current situations with most pixies of the world today. What do you think of this new cult of Ishmael, the, followers of this new god of bastards?
I don't understand why anyone would want to hunt us, do you? This little god of bastards and his bastards that hunt us? It's dumb. Why would anybody want to hunt us? We bring such joy to the world. Like the one time we made a noisemaker that shattered the mountain.
Oh my, an entire mountain?
No, really, it's great. This was a Kachuri Ponbono named Shaikufulbaka. It was great, Shaikufulbaka. You see, understand, every name in Pixies is musical, right? It always has to be musical. It's the flow of nature. That's why mine's so stupid. It's great. People have told me, "But hey, why is your last name Diddley-off-Ameliacles?" And I strangle them. No, not really. But I usually dance around. Goodness gracious. Look at me. I'm thinking about the other time I strangled a guy. But this gets me back to the one about the bastard guy. But then I was talking about the noisemaker. Oh, God. What story do you want me to tell? You want to know about the horse?
A horse?
Everybody wants to know about the horse.
Oh, very well.
No, the horse is named Peg. The horse is a mystical horse. It's the steed of champions. It's the most wonderful horse ever to exist. All it needs is a rider worthy of itself. And nobody fits the bill. So it keeps kicking them all and eating cud all angrily. Like, I'd save the world if only somebody could joust on top of me. And then they never do. So the horse is eternally condemned to going around and finding a good rider. And Chameleon was a good rider. He was. Anyway, what did you want to ask?
Right, yes, well, yes, I am supposed to be asking you things, yes. Oh dear, where are my notes? I seem to have lost my place. I'm sure there are many who, at this point, definitely would like to know, how did you become a god?
How I became a god. I was a lowly pixie storyteller. What happened was that I used to just run around and tell stories by conjuring wonderful illusions, and they'd be beautiful objects of ethereal refracted light and ghostly images, shapes of mysticism. And every now and then I'd cast a spell wrong, and I'd kind of go crazy and talk to my imaginary friends and yell at why they didn't get the story because I was doing the best I could. But that's okay. That was back in, maybe I was 300 years old. It was fun. And then one day, we're at a bar. And you know what that means? It means we're about to be scions of destiny, because that's what always happens when you have a beer. Now, I had a thimble full of beer, and so, of course, I was chosen to be part of the game of the gods, hunting the Balatro's coins and doodads and knickknacks and pittywinkles. It was like, they described it as like a consignment shop that would end the world. It was amazing, right? So, we're about to go out, and of course I've drunk my thimble, and Chameleon's thrown back his beer, so of course he's chosen. And then there's a dwarf on fire who tried to drink beer, and it didn't burn. And I'm still trying to figure out how that happened. And then there was a priest with his horns, and I kept dinging them, and he kept hitting me with the beer can, and so we got more beer, and so we were even more chosen. So we went out, and we tried to find the items, and we actually did pretty good, until at one point something went wrong. I think maybe this was around the time we blew up a city. No, maybe this was the time that we changed that river and, like, the flood carried us all away. I don't really know what happened. But the point is the bad guys won. And so I was all ticked off about this, as anyone would be when, you're chosen by the gods and then you screw up. Yep. So they're like, well, these immortal consignment knickknacks are going to sit here for 1,000 years before somebody else has to do this. We'll choose some more people. So I said, screw that. I made off with one of them. It's great. Now, there was also, so what I did was I founded this huge garden up near Italy. Now, it was a wonderful place. And the side was, I decided to make it so that everything there looked just like it did when the world wasn't taken over by the bad guys. And it was a beautiful place. Now, again, this was me casting illusions, so I think I kind of went crazy at some point, and that's why everything looked even better than it was. It was like, you know how kids draw really strange things, and they're really pretty, but they nowhere they can exist on Earth? My garden was full of that stuff. It was fantastic. It was like a theme park. It was wonderful. Now, Chameleon, of course, was mortal, and he was already getting old at that time, which only made him look more cool. I'm going to be honest, man, the wrinkles. Now, pixies don't age that way, but oh my God, he gave me the vapors. I was sitting there, oh, he was so delicious, and then he died. Well, so I built myself a mausoleum. Did I tell you I hate Ishmael's cult? That guy's, the god of bastards, is a bastard. Where was I? Right! Chameleon had just died. Aw, why'd I have to go back to that part of the story? Okay, so I was in this garden that was all hoopty-doopty and wundy-wundy, all right? And I sat there for 1,000 years. And, brother, let me tell you something. I went bat insane. Nobody can stay in a hoopty-doopty illusionary garden for 1,000 years without losing their mind. But that's okay, because that's what pixies do. We have something called a Kachuri Ponbono. Now, in our language, it means 1400 something. But what it really means is that you're so old and so strong and so powerful that you're a danger to yourself and everyone around you. And I really was. And then these people come up and like, hi, we're hunting Balatro's consignment items. And I was like, I've got one of those, hey, wait, I'm insane, and tried to kill them. So they outsmarted me. One of them figured out that I was insane. I'm not sure how they did that. I'm not sure if I yelled it at them. Hey, I was insane. I can't really remember. But they basically said, hey, by the way, insane person. I was like, blood. It's like, I'm your friend. Cool. It's like, we'll invite you out for cake. It's, cake? I haven't had cake in 1,000 years, except for this illusionary hoopty-doopty cake, which is delicious. You want some? No, we'll get you real cake. Like, real cake? It's like, yes, if you give us that consignment shop item. It's like, oh, man, you could totally have this. What are you going to do with it? It's like, hawk it for cake. It's like, hawk it for cake. I love it. And they went off and they hawked it for the right world. Seriously, they traded at the pawn shop of the gods, and everything was wonderful again, and all this beautiful stuff. But of course, it didn't get that way right away, because I found out that they'd stolen that. And so I chased them. Okay, I forgot just how bad the world looked, so I got really silly with my illusions, and I chased these people. I messed with them for years until they finally fixed everything. Now, that was wonderful. Except right after everything was fixed, the gods came down and they said, Rittophoran. And I was like, blood, sugar, wild things. Oh, I love spinners and streamers. Like, stop being crazy. I was like, yes, ma'am. And they said, we're going to make you a god. Really? Thank you. So now I'm a god. I'm the god of storytelling and pixies. It's like being a pixie, Valkyrie. If they have really good stories, I'll sing them to the gods. And when they die, their souls are precious to the divine. It's fantastic. It's a wonderful thing. But even more importantly, now that I'm a god, I can find out where Shamleon was reincarnated and go mess with that guy. Oh, and I get to pick on the god of bastards, where nobody can kill me because I'm immortal. Did I mention that guy's a bastard? Maybe that's why my people are being persecuted. Oh, God. Have I been pranking him in heaven too much and he's been persecuting my people to get back at me?
Well, I can't be sure, of course, but I believe that this Ishmael guy didn't really like pixies even when he was immortal.
Oh, I don't know if that makes me feel better.
I expect it makes him feel worse.
Oh. Well, in that case, I feel totally justified in my pranking. I'm going to go do more of it. But this is the fact why I'm a god. So, but yes, my godly duties include, what do they include? Generally being a nuisance to rhyme and reason. What else would you like to know about my divine pixie stature? Rittophoran, Shanshafir, Diddlyoff Emiliacles, divinity, ascended god! I've gone mad with power. No, I haven't. I was crazy way before that. They told me magic had become really weakened in the world. Now, personally, everybody's like, oh God, our sorceries don't work anymore. They're strange. We can't control them. We're not sure if they'll work right. Maybe we'll try to cast a spell and instead drive ourselves crazy. And I was like, son, I've been doing that for 1,000 years. Nothing's changed. You're just bad at it.
Oh, yes, well, actually, on that subject, what do you think about the current state of magic?
What do I think of the state of magic? Isn't there a mageocracy? It's kind of like a ratocracy, as though a ratocracy would run by rats, but this one's run by mages. They chase the same cheese. It's true. And I hear this one's run by the god of bastards. Oh, you haven't asked me about the god of bastards yet. I've mentioned him plenty. I'd just like to say this. He's a bastard. Now, I do need to ask a question, though. And this is, not binding necessarily, but you're my interviewer. You're sitting here. You summoned me, so I figured you may have a little bit of wisdom to impart. My children, the pixies, don't necessarily have the concept of mother and father, because pixies don't necessarily have the concept of gender or marriage or any of that. Does that make us bastards? Does that mean we belong to the god of bastards? Does that mean we have the right to annoy the god of bastards as his children? This is going to need to be worked out, is all I'm saying. I'm going to ask the other gods this, but I'm kind of taking a poll from mortals. I'm just going to ask every mortal I find if they think the pixies are technically the purview of the god of bastards, so that we can annoy him, and when we die, we'll haunt him. And it's his responsibility. He has to own it. Bastard. Jerk. But think of it. Give me another bad name I can call him. You, do it.
Rapscallion?
Rapscallion. That's a good one.
Oh, yes, well, thank you, I suppose. My colleagues and I will have to look into the whole pixies and bastards question. Yes, it seems most, interesting puzzle. Yes, I'll have to get back to you on it later, though. For now, is there... I'm not sure. Is there anything else you'd like to tell us?
And the last thing I want to say about magic is, well, I'd really like to see how to bring it back. And being a god, well, I imagine there's some things I'm going to work on to bring it back. However, I am going to say this. Apparently, the games of Balatro's consignment items has started again. Why do you always grin whenever I say that? Aren't they? It's a stick, it's a cup, it's a music box, and a quarter. No, the last one's not a music box. What is the last one? A sword! A sword! I like the music box better. Can we have Balatro's music box? That'd be so cool. It could play something epic. Oh my God, I could sing for it. Da 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 da. No, I don't know why that song came in my head. But where was I going with that? I'm sorry, I got caught up in my own singing. What was I saying?
I'm afraid I'm not really sure anymore.
The thing is, apparently Balatro's consignment shop race has started again. It's like a yard sale to determine the fate of Earth, right? You got to get those bargains, Bucky. You know, get them while they're hot. 2-for-1 sale. Coins that defer combined strength can play awesome slot machine games. It's great for gambling. You know, I would love it if Alanis actually got the coin and she says, I'm just going to use this on anything. You know, it's like, it would be the one she flips all the time. And she heads, save the world. Tails, burn down a city. It's great. Would she do that? I'll have to suggest it to her. That might make the world a better place, don't you think?
Oh, sorry, who? Alanis? Do you mean Alanis? I don't think she's really known for burning down things, really.
Well, I'm a pixie. I can help.
Yes, I'm sure you could.
Yeah, or we could ask the god of bastards. He's a bastard. You see, why is there no other descriptor for him? He's nefarious, bar sinister, kinslayer, muggy, doodad, but, you know, none of it works. It's a bastard. That's the only thing you can say he is. Oh, I'm going to have to work on that. Okay, but no, what I was going back to was my grandson, right? He used to have all of Balatro's consignment items for himself. They were family heirlooms, right? And then the game started again, and he's pissed as hell. And he should be, because those things are cool. They really liven up the place. They really tied his whole room together. And now they're back to deciding the fate of mankind. I'm just saying, is that how magic's going to come back? Is that what needs to happen? Like, if Balatro's items are reunited with the pawn shop of divinity, or whatever it is, I never really understood how it was supposed to work. We're supposed to take them to an altar, and we put them on the altar, and said, guess what? We caught them all. And then somebody comes out and says, you're the best you're the best oddball object collectors we ever knew. That's why we're going to give you like the rights to dictate the future of the earth and civilization as a whole. It's like great, and the patterns of nature too. It's like zounds, and we'll elevate you to godhood. It's like, God, I should have collected more coins as a kid. It's like, right, and it's like, it's wonderful. All I'm saying is that being a god has not made it any less ridiculous, even because I'm here, which is kind of the point. I think they did it just because they wanted to laugh a little bit more. And I've certainly helped. Right, Ishmael? Yeah, you go ahead and pout. Jerk. But yes, I want to see magic restored so everything can be awesome. My pixies can be awesome. Every world can be awesome. And so magic can become the primary technology for everybody. Except in one case where people use magic for stupid stuff. And what I mean by that is it's like summoning demons, stupid ghosts. You know,
Well, yes, but what about smart ghosts?
well, there are smart ghosts, but then there are stupid ones too. You know, did I ever tell you about this? The horned priest would have to bore a ghost to death. It kept haunting us. He was so boring that the ghost would just rather be dead. But then we'd walk away and things would get more interesting because he wasn't in the room. And the ghost would come back. At one point, even he got sick of it. It's like, what are you doing here, you stupid ghost? Said the horned priest as I was dinging on his horns. I couldn't help it. They were so musical. I ding dong, ding, 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 ding. Even Chameleon would clap along. No, he wouldn't. He would scowl at me. But that would make it even better. Anyway, the point is, there's no point. Well, it's been fun. Oh, real fast. There's a twist to Balatro's game. Now, the gods know it, then mortals don't. I'm not supposed to tell you, but I'm going to because I screwed up Balatro's game once. I know what that feels like. Now, I'm only going to tell you. You go find these people and tell them. You become the prophet of your species and the savior of your entire world. And it's super important. Now, what's going to happen? And cake is so good. Just cake is wonderful. I love cake. God, is that cake right over there? I love cake. Oh my God, I'm going to go have cake. You stay here and be amazing with all the information that I've told you. It will save your cake. It will save your planet with cake. I love the cake. Friend, I'll see you later. Bye.
Oh, Rittophoran? Where'd you go? Well, I suppose that's it then. I'm sure we've all learned a lot here, though I'm not really sure if any of it is useful at all, but, no. First rule of the scholar. Yes, no knowledge is wasted knowledge. No, even if you have no idea what it can be used for. But well, I suppose you can have this delightful little recording device back now, Mr. Fire Drake. I must be going so I can try to make sense of my notes. Yes. Thank you. I'll see you later, Erasmus. Yes, that's the door over there. No, that's the closet. Over there. Yes, the one next to it. Yes, that's it. Yes. Goodbye. Whew, well, thought he'd never leave. Well, that was a close one, folks. Pixie almost ruined my twist. Can't have any spoilers getting out now, can we, dear readers, viewers, listeners, whatever. My dear audience, it's a good thing that I had a freshly baked cake ready to pull Rit out of there. Well, now then, I believe that brings us to the end of our presentation for today. Thank you all to my good friend James for voicing Rittophoran and reminding me just how freaking sane a pixie can get. So remember, share, like, subscribe, and as always, be kind to everyone. Thank you.